Coming up, a medical team is offering free help this weekend to those who cannot afford it in our region.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 11.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. So far, the mountains have been spared any severe weather today, but could we still have some storms overnight? Meteorologist Evan Hatter joins us now with more on what to expect. Evan, there is some things on the radar.
That's right. We are still dealing with a few showers and storms beginning to work through the region. However, the good news is we have had no watches throughout the evening. No warnings have been issued. The one watch we had in the area was allowed to expire an hour ago. And there is nothing severe outside right now. We've actually been able to dial back that level 2 threat, only in effect for areas, or basically a county in between the I-64 corridor. And even so, the heaviest of the rain and the heaviest of the storms is now south of that area. Everybody else is in the level 1 threat, but still some gusty thunderstorms from Louisa on over toward West Liberty at this hour. And notice this thin green line, basically seeing it right on top of Warfield back toward Paintsville. That's the gust front. That's these thunderstorms blowing out cooler air. So you're going to feel it cool down before that rain hits. Further to the west, places like Campton, Stanton, Slade getting in on some very heavy rain right now. Right on top of Ravenna and Irvin here before too long as this whole area of storms continues to push to the east. This is the cold front. Once it passes you, your severe weather threat for the night is over. Scattered showers and storms with us, though. Low to mid-60s around the mountains as we head into tonight. The very latest on when they finally move on out of here and how nice of a day to expect tomorrow, coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
All right, Evan, thank you. School districts have less than 2 months to place a school resource officer in every school. Grayson Passmore talked to an SRO in Powell County who says he doesn't know how districts and police departments will be able to fund this. They even have started to apply for state grants to find the money elsewhere.
But having that first line of defense versus no defense in some situations where an SRO may not be present is just, like I said earlier, paramount.
With the Stanton Police Department, Sergeant Ian Morton also works as a school resource officer in Powell County. Morton says right now the district can afford one full-time and one part-time SRO to cover the 4 campuses they're assigned to. But a new bill will require an SRO at every campus, whether or not the district can afford that.
You've already got somebody on the ground. Not only are you going to potentially be able to eliminate that threat immediately, but you're also going to convey information to a dispatch center or to other law enforcement in the area and get help a lot more rapidly.
House Bill 63 won't fund the new staffing requirements. Sergeant Morton says they can work with the school security marshal to hire officers, but even then they'll have to apply for grants to meet funding requirements. Now some are suggesting their own solutions.
We take an oath to defend our Constitution against enemies, foreign and domestic. And even though we may not be in uniform anymore, that doesn't expire.
Veterans Club Inc. founder Jeremy Harrell spoke to a sister station, saying he suggests veterans be allowed to become SROs, dress in plain clothes, and possibly carry their guns concealed.
We talk all the time about veterans who struggle and law enforcement retirees who struggle when they get done, doing such an honorable profession. They feel like, what do I do now? Well, this would be a great opportunity to get them back in the field that they're specialized in.
That was Grayson Passmore reporting. House Bill 63 requires school districts assign SROs to each school by August 1st, 2022. It was another emotional day on Capitol Hill, where for a second day, lawmakers heard from victims and others involved in recent mass shootings. Senators are hopeful they will have a new piece of gun control legislation ready in the coming days, but negotiations remain tense. CBS's Skylar Henry is on Capitol Hill with the latest.
11-year-old Mia Cerrillo told House lawmakers how she survived last month's massacre in her Robb Elementary classroom.
He shot my friend that was next to me, and I thought he was going to come back to the room, so I grabbed the blood and I put it all over me.
Mia's father was in tears watching her pre-recorded testimony.
She's not the same little girl that I used to play with and run with.
19 students and 2 teachers were killed by a gunman wielding an AR-15 style rifle. Dr. Roy Guerrero described the carnage he saw at the hospital.
2 children whose bodies had been pulverized by bullets fired at them, decapitated, whose flesh had been ripped apart.
Lexi Rubio was one of the 19 students killed. Her parents called for Congress to ban assault weapons.
We stand for Lexi, and as her voice, we demand action.
The testimonies come as a bipartisan group of senators work on new gun control legislation. Democrats hope the victims' stories will help convince Republicans to vote for tougher measures.
Nowhere else in the world does this happen other than the United States.
Many Republicans appear to be on board with enhanced background checks and incentives for red flag laws, but say further restrictions are unconstitutional.
And I have no intention of undermining the rights of law-abiding gun owners in America.
Wednesday night, the House passed a sprawling Democratic piece of legislation, but it's unlikely to make it through the Senate. Skyler Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
That House bill increases the age to buy semi-automatic weapons from 18 to 21 and bans high-capacity magazines. Eastern Kentuckians could soon see a huge benefit from the Kentucky Opioid Abatement Advisory Commission. Created by the state, the commission will be deciding where to distribute part of the $483 million settlement from opioid companies. Kentucky State Treasurer Allison Ball says the money will help people in all parts of the state.
So we really can, like I said, tailor it to the needs of the community, tailor it to the opportunities that we have. And, you know, people have already begun reaching out. So I think people are wanting to make sure, hey, no, I'm here.
If you are fighting addiction, you can visit WYMT.com to find resources to get help. Just look for this story. A special event was held today in Madison County to mark the destruction of dangerous nerve agents at the Bluegrass Army Depot. The last of the VX nerve agent on the base was destroyed in April, and today officials marked being one step closer to getting rid of all of the gas agents in the area. Richmond Mayor Robert Blythe says the entire chemical stockpile is almost destroyed.
Bring us to this place of seeing the proverbial light at the end of the tunnel.
Mayor Blythe says the Army will still own the land, and before the land can be repurposed, it must be evaluated by the EPA. Officials with the University of Kentucky Center for Excellence in Rural Health say that Eastern Kentuckians see some of the worst health outcomes in the nation. That's no surprise. And they want to address that problem. WYMT's Zach Hawk has more on a partnership that could help in Hazard this upcoming weekend.
Volunteers and medical professionals from all over the country will be in Hazard on Friday, delivering free dental, vision, and medical care.
It really is a big operation, but if you think about it, you know, we're running 12 dental chairs at one time, up to 8, I think, or 10 dental or vision lanes and eye exams.
More than 250 volunteers, including local medical partners, making this event possible.
We've got the University of Kentucky and the University of Louisville dental schools, UPOC, their College of Optometry, doing that. And then we've got the medical services are provided by just volunteers that are coming in.
While UK runs the ground operation, it is RAM, Remote Area Medical, a Knoxville-based nonprofit, delivering the clinics.
We do this work for our patients because everywhere we go, we do see the need. We go into rural communities that may not have doctors.
And they bring some pretty interesting equipment, especially for patients looking at eye care.
We bring what we call an eye lab, which is a mobile unit inside a van or a bus that has the capacity and the machinery to make eyeglasses there on site.
Most importantly, she says, the RAM mission focuses on people who have the hardest time finding care.
There's all kinds of barriers in our society to prevent people from getting care, and we just want to remove those barriers and get people the care they need.
The parking lot at East Perry Elementary School opens just before midnight Friday night, and doors open to the clinic at 6 a.m. on June 11th.
Once you arrive on site, you do need to stay on site in order to hold your place in line. We do ask that you bring food and water and be prepared for a long wait. We don't ask for money, we don't ask for insurance, we don't ask for ID, but we do ask for your time.
All services are provided on a first-come, first-served basis. In Hazard, Zach Hawk, WYMT Mountain News.
Officials say because of time constraints, patients should be prepared to choose between dental and vision services. The RAM Clinic wraps up on Sunday, June 12th in Hazard. The city of Martin in Floyd County is getting a lift as Phase 2 of the Army Corps of Engineers flood project continues. Work is underway now to address a decades-old mission to lift Martin's Main Street and revitalize the downtown area. The first phase moved the police department, city hall, senior citizen center, and more to the mountain. And Phase 2 is all about lifting the land off of Main Street out of the flood zone to develop a commercial site.
Let's bring that tax base back to Martin, that the folks who live in Martin now, that they will benefit from that tax base. And what that does is that helps them to do upgrades on their essential services, water, sewer. That's what those tax dollars are used for.
Judge Executive Robbie Williams says the project comes with the threat of future flooding for homes and businesses downstream, and the Corps is working with those impacted. The Levi Jackson State Park pool is back open for the summer in Laurel County. A few months ago, there were questions about whether or not the pool would be ready to open this summer due to mechanical issues. The City of London Tourism gave $200,000 to complete the project, and so community members could have a safe, clean, and fun pool to enjoy.
Listen, if you're out and about and you want to have a good time, either come to the swimming pool at Levi Jackson or visit Treetop Adventure. And we have a lot of facilities, hiking trails, and other things like that that you can bring the whole family out and enjoy.
The pool is open all summer, every day of the week. Tourism directors encourage everyone to get out and enjoy it. It is swimming season once again, but before you break out your beach towels and sunscreen, it's important to be aware of the potential dangers of unsafe swimming. Studies show that 88% of all drownings happen even when an adult is present. Pediatrician Jordan Burke advises chaperones and swimmers to be cautious of what they are doing when out in the water and to avoid being under the influence when swimming.
Avoiding substance use around water or in general, but even like things like alcohol could definitely increase the chance of drowning and is commonly associated with drowning occurrences in teens.
Dr. Burke also advises swimmers to always use the buddy system regardless of the age of the swimmer. Two bills focusing on child welfare are now laws. Today, Governor Andy Beshear signed Senate Bill 8 and House Bill 263. Senate Bill 8 provides support, protection, and services for children who are abused. House Bill 263 makes criminal abuse of a victim under 12 a Class B felony. He says we should all agree to help our youth.
No one should ever have to go through what they went through. The struggle continues to be my guiding light to help create change. Camisole is only the beginning to help raise the standards for the well-being of Kentucky's children.
A federal group's rankings show Kentucky is one of the worst states in the country when it comes to child abuse and neglect. Ollie's Bargain Outlet has opened up a new location in Hazard. The Good Stuff Cheap store opened early Wednesday morning to more than 200 eager shoppers. Ollie has more than 400 stores nationwide with other nearby locations in Paintsville, Corbin, and Norton, Virginia. Ollie's district team lead, Robert Fox, has high hopes for the new Hazard location, saying the turnout was higher than expected.
This has probably been one of the best builds that we've had in a long time. The team here in Hazard has been excellent. A lot of hard workers, a lot of dedicated folks have come to make this building come together, and it's really refreshing to see.
The store is located in the Black Gold Plaza in the Old Goodies and Gordman's location. It's expected to have between 20 and 30 full-time workers. Coming up on Mountain News at 11, is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, they are super visitors making a stop in one eastern Kentucky town.
And after our strong storm threat moves on, we've got one dry day before more storms move in. I'll break down the late week timing next.
It's time to get back out and see America again.
And there's no better way than in a hybrid electrified vehicle.
Like this electrified Camry Hybrid.